You've said, I've paid this guy a lot of money. We've heard reports, $4.5 million. He's not performing.
Of course, I criticize him, which I believe I have a right to do. And when you have a contract with the guy, what else can you do? You can only criticize him because you cannot fire him.
Yeah.
It would have been at my Tinkoff Bank. I would probably give him a notice and I would just pay him 2 months of the salary and say him bye-bye.
After his skyrocket rise in 2012 and 2013, 2014 was the year where Peter Sagan's career started to decline in terms of results, and it got even worse in 2015. Despite his spectacular performances, he failed to get a victory at both the Spring Classics and the Tour de France. The Slovak's name became more synonymous with finishing second and third, until Stage 3 of the Vuelta, where he got his first Grand Tour stage win in over 2 years. But the joy of the victory did not last very long. In the eyes of most cycling fans, he was the world's best cyclist, but without a rainbow jersey in his collection, that title feels somewhat incomplete. In his previous 5 participations at the World Championships, he only finished once inside the top 10. In Richmond, Sagan was eager to get that very prestigious win, a win that would change everything. On the race day, Sagan was nowhere to be seen for the long 6-hour race. But he was there, keeping a low profile, quietly watching. There had been some attacks by his rivals as the race approached the final lap, but Sagan was calm and collected, reading their moves and refining his plans. And when they came to the 23rd Street for the last time, he knew it was now or never.
Peter Sagan, we've not seen him all day and he's made the move.
This is it. There's no looking around. There's no sitting up and waiting. He has to go for home.
He's got as he goes into shock on bottom. Sagan leans a bike over, right on the limit right now.
Can Peter Sagan become world champion?
Yes, he can. .1 kilometres to go. This is where it starts to kick up.
He's now going to set himself up for the most important climb of his life. Peter Sagan with 1 kilometre to go.
Greg van Avermaet leads the chase. There are still plenty of others fighting hard for this gold medal. What has Sagan got left in the tank as he comes to...
Peter Sagan puts it in the biggest gear on his bike. He's going to turn the left-hand corner. Look at the shoulders, look at the gritted teeth. Is he going to win this world title?
He's had some big moments in his career. This is set to be the biggest.
I think he's done the job. He's done enough. He will have time to celebrate, and this will be a very popular victory in the world of cycling. Peter Sagan from Slovakia is a world champion.
The showman did not disappoint this time. He produced one of the most spectacular attacks you will ever see at the World Championships. A well-calculated move on a terrain that brought out the best version of him. This victory marked an end to a disappointing chapter in his career, and a start of a new chapter, the Peter Sagan era. 2016 was Peter Sagan's most successful season. He accumulated 14 World Tour wins, including 3 stages at the Tour de France, the Tour of Flanders, and the European Championships road race. After 12 months, the time has come to defend the rainbow jersey. Seeing how flat this profile is, every team that went into this race were expecting an easy walk in the park until the final few kilometers. Except for the Brits and the Belgians, they knew the secrets of bike racing in the Middle East. Sometimes the key to winning a race resides in the small details, such as corners and wind directions. Details that you won't find in the race profile. This was one of those days, but the majority did not realize it until it was too late. While they were chilling and chatting, the crosswinds hit the peloton. In all of a sudden, the 2 teams that studied this course overnight are at the front, ripping the race apart.
And suddenly there are riders sprinting flat out. Luke Rowe goes to the front. Tucked in right on his wheel is Mark Cavendish. Alongside him is Adam Blythe. The Belgians are joining in, and this echelon is forming, and it's forming quite quickly. We'll see whether the tail of the peloton splits here, Rob, but the peloton are now doing 72k an hour.
Riders further back, you can see riders from the Netherlands, they've got caught out. You can't believe that the Dutch have been caught out. And there we see the first gap, and Andre Greipel is fighting for the wheels. This is dangerous. The race really is on now.
They created a formation that is known as an echelon. To understand how it works, you first need to know the principle of drafting. The more you are protected from the wind, the less effort you need to make to maintain the same speed compared to those that are exposed to the wind. In most cases, you need to be straight behind another rider in order to get the advantage of drafting, whether it's headwind, tailwind, or no wind. This way, hundreds of riders can easily stick around and benefit from the work of a few guys at the front. But when it's crosswind, the draft becomes sideways, and only a few riders can benefit from the drafting because the width of the road can only contain a limited number of riders. Those who started the echelon are the ones that control the size of it. In other words, they decide how many riders they can take with them. Thanks to the rotation, the formation can keep putting the hammer down for as long as they want. This devastating echelon reached an incredible speed of 72 kilometers per hour. Riders were sprinting all out, but were unable to catch up to this flying group. Only one man was able to make it at the last possible moment. The cameras didn't catch it, but Peter somehow made it. The timing of this move took everyone by surprise. In a blink of an eye, it was game over for 73% of participants. That's 146 riders. They were still in the race trying to come back, but it took them another 130 kilometers to realize it was a mission impossible. Team Belgium and Team Britain were able to eliminate most of the favourites that could pose a threat to their respective leaders. That leaves 3 favourites in this race: Mark Cavendish, Tom Boonen and Peter Sagan. The long, draining 257 kilometers race all came down to a sprint finish.
Tom Bonen's also here, he's going to pick it up, and there goes Mark Cavendish as well. Adam Blythe's also in the frame here. This is absolutely remarkable. They go for it, they spread wide across the road, tied on the inside, it's Nizzolo on the barriers. Peter Sagan just showing himself, he's found space where none seems to exist, but he's just there. Oh my goodness, he's gone and done it again. Oh, what about that? There is only one Peter Sagan. Absolutely remarkable.
Unlike other sprinters, Peter Sagan thrives in chaotic sprints. He doesn't necessarily need a lead-out man to secure a win. We often see him navigating through tight spaces and positions himself on the right wheel. Once he sees a window, he goes for it with no hesitation. This victory put him alongside 5 other riders in history who won back-to-back titles at the World Championships.
There goes Sagan. On the inside, he launches his attack as he takes victory from Thibaut Pinot in second place, Roglic over the line in third, Thomas fourth place.
Peter Sagan cracked that one big time.
200 metres remaining, he's got meters, in 9 gears. It's Peter Sagan running to the line inside of 50 minutes to go. It's going to be a 14-stage success. It is the world champion.
Peter Sagan arrived at the World Championships 48 hours before the race. This time he was uncertain about his form after his illness the week before. He did not touch the bike for 3 days. The fans were concerned about his condition, especially after he cancelled his recon ride. It looked as though he just came to take part and honour the race, being the defending champion. Like he did in 2015, Sagan camouflaged himself in the peloton while there were fireworks going on at the front. With 3 kilometers to go, and as the world was watching in suspense, the live feed went down, with no images from the motorbikes or the helicopters. The viewers were left clueless as to what was going on. For 4 minutes, all we could see was this image from a stationary camera near the finish line. From an aerial footage of the final 3 kilometers that was released later, we get to see a great ride by Peter Sagan. On his own, he managed to abort 2 breakaway attempts. They were trying to get rid of him so that they can have a better chance of winning. They eventually gave up once they realized he was on their wheels. They did not expect such an individual effort from him, since everybody is on their last reserves after 6 hours of racing at the World Championships. The Slovakian was able to control the race and direct it towards a situation that suits him. A bunch sprint.
Ben Swift is right in there for Great Britain. Michael Matthews is back up towards the front of the race once again. And Alaphilippe bid for victory may have gone. Is that Peter Sagan we can see coming up towards the front? It may well be Peter Sagan. What a sprint we're going to have here. And Sagan's there in 3rd place. He's got himself in a great position here. Matthews is up there as well. Steve Bauer in the Czech Republic. Ben Swift is on the left-hand side of the road in your picture. It's Alexander Kristoff who's going for it now. And through the middle of the road. This is going to be such an incredible finish as they cross the line neck and neck. I think Sagan's done it. I think it's a 3-peat for Peter Sagan, the first man ever to win the world title 3 times in a row.
Coming into the final 500 meters, and after a brief recovery, Sagan smartly repositions himself and jumps into the wheel of Alexander Kristoff, a sweet spot where he doesn't have to worry about getting boxed in behind others, nor does he have to sprint for a very long distance. This was the winning move. As a sprinter, you only have a short burst of peak power. It differs from one sprinter to the other, but it's usually about 12 seconds. You have to time it perfectly. The Norwegian sprinter launched the sprint from 250 meters away. Sagan used him as a lead-out man and waited for the right moment to launch his sprint. Had he not made that jump in the lead-up to the sprint, he would have had a lot of ground to make up in the final 250 meters. Sagan's timing was perfect. He rode a flawless race and made all the right decisions. With a perfect bike throw on the line, history was made.
Peter Sagan, what a ride. He saved the best till last. World champion yet again for the third year in a row. Unprecedented.
At the age of 27, Peter Sagan was already a cycling legend with his own style. He broke what was known as the Rainbow Jersey curse. And what makes it even more impressive is that he had no teammates with him most of the time. He keeps winning despite the peloton refusing to work with him. We may never see someone coming close to repeating this unprecedented accomplishment in our lifetime. If you have some great cycling stories, feel free to share them with us in the comments section. Support the channel by liking the video and subscribing. Thanks for watching.